Do you guys feel that? Do you feel the energy in the air? G3 time.
Oh God, I'm not ready.
It just feels like heat to me. We're having a heat wave now. It just feels hot.
Yeah, this is LA.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
That's what we're gonna be.
So we are here to give our E3 predictions. We're joined by Ash Paulson, Derek Bidner, and Tom Arnold. The first time in like 3 or 4 years, I think.
Right?
Well, we had him on the podcast, so...
That's true. He has been on the podcast. So, yeah, a lot of people have been asking about this. We're finally here to give our predictions. I don't know why. I feel like we always do it the weekend before, but I guess everyone forgets because it seems like everyone's been giving their E3 predictions way earlier this year than before. I don't know. Maybe that's... Have you guys noticed that at all? Or?
Maybe it's usually around a week when people start expecting that sort of thing. But considering we had a Pokemon Direct this week,
right.
It's like we could have immediately been dated by doing one on over the weekend, the past weekend. Or someone's in Disney at that point.
Yeah, that's the exact thing. I like holding off to as close to the show as reasonably possible because so much crap happens before then that it invalidates your predictions if you do it even like a week or two before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like especially this year, it's felt like the lead up to E3 has been particularly full of like announcements, such that it doesn't feel like there's as much to predict right now because so much has been announced already.
Right.
Yeah, not quite the same rabid discussion, but you know we could always just do next year's predictions. You know, just get ahead of the curve.
Yeah, we do E3 2018 predictions.
All right, so on that note, let's go ahead and get into our overall expectations. So I don't want to get too much into our general predictions quite yet, or rather our specific predictions yet. But how are you guys feeling in general about this year's E3, for Nintendo specifically? This is a Nintendo-focused predictions piece. So how are you feeling about Nintendo going into this year's E3?
I'm feeling pretty optimistic, like... Yeah, I've seen a lot of people putting a lot of pressure on him, being like, Nintendo has to nail this E3, and I'm like, really? They do? Because I feel like they're in an okay spot. We know what's coming for the rest of the year. We got Pokken, we got Fire Emblem Warriors, we got Super Mario Odyssey, which is the big one, we got Pokemon. Like, that's a pretty good lineup already, so I'm like, what are you guys expecting? Like, what are you hoping for to blow your minds for the rest of the year? Because... to me, I don't think Nintendo is going to go all out for... I mean, I think we pretty much know, outside of a few things here and there, what we can expect in 2017. And I'm not... The big question for me is whether Nintendo is going to focus on 2017 or if they're going to give us a little tease of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Derek, I mean, I see what you're saying, and I kind of hope you're wrong because you just named 4 games for the rest of 2017. Like, Nintendo has to come...
I'm going from September till then because we also have ARMS, we have Splatoon, we have...
Well, yeah, okay.
You know.
But there's still more known quantities, but because they're closer to release. I mean, I feel like, yes, we're sitting pretty comfortable with the Switch's release schedule this year, but I do feel like this is a really key E3 for Nintendo. They really do have to come out swinging and really prove that the Switch's year one is going to be really strong.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that they do need to bring it this year. And I kind of agree with Derek in that, I mean, that would be a good thing, obviously. But yeah. I think a lot of people are setting themselves up for expectation. They're expecting Nintendo to blow it out here. Because I'm getting the general feeling that we're not going to get a ton of like super surprise announcements. Which unfortunately has a slight side effect of making my predictions maybe a little bit on the boring side. Because I'm just not expecting like anything major, or... I take that back. I'm not expecting a lot of major things here. I think we know a lot of what we're going to see here, largely by virtue of the fact that Nintendo's going to focus on 2017.
I completely agree with that. I'm feeling very surprise light this year. I don't see Nintendo having a bunch of surprises beyond what we know about already. It's just kind of a hunch I have.
Mm-hmm. I do think Nintendo has a lot of good games already announced, though, and I said before, you give me Zelda, you give me Mario, I'm good. I'm content with my Switch at that point. That's a slight exaggeration. But my point is that Zelda looked amazing and Mario Odyssey looked amazing. And I really just want to see more of Mario. Like, we have not had a return to form of Mario in the vein of Mario 64 since Mario 64. Some would say Sunshine. I would say that's actually when it starts stepping away from Mario 64. So for that reason alone, I'm actually pretty stoked going into the show.
Yeah, and as for myself, I would agree with Derek. Like, we know Mario's coming out, Zelda's coming out. Like you said, that's Mario and Zelda. That's like enough Nintendo games for a decade, really, for what you would expect. I would guess that you don't see retro studios this year. And what do you guys think if maybe a tease of Smash Brothers at the end, and then they go and ask Sakurai if he can make it for them.
Okay, well, it sounds like we're getting... Okay. that's
It's like it's
pretty
way
awesome.
too soon to get into the Smash discussion. This is
I was going to say, that's a pretty good specific prediction. Let's save that
Oh,
for...
General. Okay, yeah, sorry, guys.
Tom's just not excited, really.
He is. I mean, I can't blame him. And that is going to be a
Right.
big part of our discussion, I think, is Smash going to be here or not?
Well, I think before we get into any of that is we need to look at the fact that the Nintendo has revealed that their presentation is only going to be 25 minutes long.
Okay, so
Yes.
quick point of clarification. It sounds like we know for sure it's 30 minutes. The 25-minute thing came from Nico, which apparently I think they just kind of guesstimate. I don't know if they have any actual facts on that or not. So I'm gonna stick with about 30 minutes or so. It could be 25 as well. Who knows? But this is coming in at the shorter end of not just E3 conferences, but even Nintendo's like Direct or Spotlights or whatever they've called them in years past before. Because usually I think they're 40 to 50 minutes. And even before that, before Nintendo switched to the Direct format, they were typically about an hour, if not even longer back in the day. And Sony and Microsoft usually come in at like an hour, or actually no, rather 2 or 3 hours usually.
I think that's what is making a lot of people nervous about Nintendo's presentation this year is the fact that it seems so short to them. I mean, unless Nintendo goes rapid fire, it does not seem like we're going to get a lot of games because Nintendo does like to linger and talk about their games unless they use that time for the Treehouse, because the Treehouse is once again back and they can just like, hey, these games are coming and you want to know any more information, watch the Treehouse.
Okay, well, here's my first prediction then. This is kind of throwing it out there. There's going to be more games announced during the Treehouse than beyond the Spotlight.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much been the trend. I think that's a pretty good prediction.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, my point more is I'm honestly not concerned about this 30 minutes. You can cram as much or as little as you want into that time. They could show every, 30 games a minute each, and that I would say that'd be a pretty successful Spotlight. I don't think they will, but I'm just saying is there's any number of ways they could use these formats. And look at how much downtime there usually is in a typical conference, for instance. Not necessarily Nintendo's Directs, but like Microsoft and Sony, or even Nintendo in the past when they did the live stage shows. There's a lot of filler there. So, and we've seen before with their with the Direct, I guess 3 Directs now, if my math is right, because they've had all these different Directs recently. But the one with the new format where they went just, headline by headline by headline, they covered so much territory in a small amount of time. So I'm honestly not concerned. I see a lot of people freaking out about 30 minutes, and we'll see what it amounts to. But if they have, I don't think that's an indicator of how much or how little they have to show at all. Especially with, as you guys mentioned, the Treehouse being there, they can use that to elaborate on whatever they want.
Yeah, I agree that it's worth remembering that they did experiment with that new blow-by-blow format 3 Directs ago, or however many it was. Mm-hmm. So it is possible that we could get a very packed 30 minutes full of announcements. But I'm kind of erring on the side of how you feel, Andre, which is I don't feel like we're going to get a lot of crazy surprises during the 30-minute presentation, but I do think we'll get a few game announcements beyond that as well.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I mean, I guess I should clarify that even though I don't think there'll be a ton of big announcements here, there's still a lot to talk about. So, just first-party wise anyway. So they can still cover a lot of territory in those 30 minutes. But if you're looking for brand new announcements, yeah, I think you may want to lower your expectations perhaps a little bit. But and in that case, if I'm wrong, that's even better. You'll be surprised by all the huge things they're announcing.
We're all happy when you're wrong, Andre.
I know you guys really take glee in that. Well, should we hop into our specific predictions?
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
All right. Who wants to start off here?
I mean, why not just get to the big one right away with Super Mario Odyssey? Like, what do you expect out of Super Mario
Okay,
Odyssey?
fine. Okay, let me start off here. Of course, we already know Mario Odyssey will be at the show. It's hard to give super specific predictions. However, I'm going to predict that there will be a co-op mode shown off. So we're gonna get a release date. We're gonna get a true co-op mode announcement. And that's really as specific as I can get here without, I'm not gonna predict exact levels they're gonna be showing off or anything. But I will predict the game will look amazing. There we go. So co-op, amazing, and release date.
So co-op with Luigi, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I would. I mean, unless there's a hat character, unless that hat is a character, like maybe the Magic Rabbit hat thing.
Well, that's true. Going into the hats, that's sort of my prediction, mainly around Super Mario Odyssey, because I agree with you. We're going to get a release date. We might see co-op. I was at least suggesting we'll see like a Luigi mode, So we can sort of like Galaxy, just go through as Luigi and he has his different abilities. But I think we're actually going to see them show off what the hats can do, because we saw before how you can toss it out and jump off it. There's no way that's the only ability of these hats. We're going to see more variety.
Oh yeah, they're going to show off how the hat store works, where you can swap hats. I mean, this is all my conjecture, but I'm sure that's going to be the case, where we can see Mario wearing different hats. And I actually, you know what? To touch on the Luigi point, if they're truly doing a Mario 64 style game, Luigi won't be here at all. I think the hat may be that second playable character.
I don't know if I can see them dropping Luigi.
They've dropped Luigi tons of times before.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they do it all the time.
That's like the running joke, is that they just drop him at the first chance they get.
Compromise, guys. Could have a Luigi hat, then have Luigi's abilities.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh,
that would be the funniest thing.
That would be amazing.
That would be pretty great. I kind of like that idea. Also, I'm going to go a little step farther. Not really a big deal, but I'm predicting November for this. Like, late November. Like, whatever the Friday, their typical pre-Black Friday release date is what they're going with here, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree, although I don't think they're going to announce that release date at E3. I 100% think that this is going to come out on like November 18th or 21st or whatever.
Okay.
But like the usual Nintendo day, but I don't think they're going to tell us that at E3 quite yet.
Right.
I wonder if they're going to go ballsy enough that they'll release it the same day as Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which is the 17th in November.
They could. I mean
they had Super Mario 3D World and A Link Between Worlds on the same day a few years ago, so why not, right?
Yeah, and Nintendo's really weird when it comes to release dates.
They are two completely different platforms, and I could see people being like, hey, get Mario and a Pokemon game for just about $100. Why not?
Yeah.
Perfect for the kids.
Yep, indeed. All right, Ash, what's your prediction?
If anyone other than me starts this conversation, I'm going to be really sad. So we're going to do it.
Oh man,
Smash! Let's do it.
Oh, we're going in already. All right,
we're doing it. If anyone else brings this up, I'm going to feel like I missed my chance. So I have been wavering so much on Smash being at this E3 or not, and I've really been thinking that it won't be, especially after Pokken Tournament Deluxe. I feel like they've got ARMS, they've got Pokken Tournament Deluxe. They're good for the esport fighting game thing.
Well, Splatoon 2 as well, yeah.
And Splatoon, well, I'm talking about fighting games.
It is fighting games, but still
esports,
though, in general, yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like, I felt like Smash might be pushed to next year, and okay, makes sense. But then, of course, today, they launched that damn Nintendo Versus Twitter account, and the leftmost image on that banner is mysteriously blank.
Yep.
And what else could it be?
It could just be a buffer for the other three icons.
Yeah, and it could be, but that's just, oh man, I was so decided on Smash being a no-show this year, and now I'm wavering again.
Okay, real quick, what is all on that banner? Is it ARMS, Splatoon 2, and
Pokken Tournament Deluxe.
Okay, Pokken, right. And that game was just announced. I was going to throw out maybe Mario Kart, but yeah, I don't see that fitting the bill here. So, yeah, assuming that if that actually is a fourth slot, which is really the main question here, that could lend some evidence to Smash. Because I agree with that. I was leaning your way too. I was optimistic for Smash, but I was hesitant. Like, I do feel like it's almost too soon. So you know what? Just to make it interesting, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no Smash this year, or at E3. And I guess it won't come out this year either. They may talk about it this year, but I don't think it'll be at E3, and I don't think it'll be released this year. But just to throw a little curveball there, if it is announced, it will be shown off with a new ARMS character and a new Inkling as well.
Nice.
Yep.
I'm wavering, but I also agree with you, Andre. I don't think it's going to be at E3 this year. If anything, it might be a trailer in the direct, kind of like how Smash Wii U and 3DS was announced.
Yeah. Like
a single trailer and that's it, but I don't expect it to have a big presence at the show. And I see this more as an early 2018 game now, because more and more it's looking like late 2017 is pretty packed for the Switch. Yeah. So why would you want to waste Smash on that,
Yeah, whether or not it's at E3, there is no way it's coming out this year, in my opinion. I think there's already enough content here, and they'd want to save that for next year. Because, as you mentioned, we already have a fighting game in the form of ARMS, albeit a very different fighting game. But, yeah, I think they want a big multiplayer game for next year, and I can see them pulling off an early year release of La Brawl.
True, although I will disagree with you on one front, and that is the characters. If they do an announcement at E3, I don't think ARMS is proven enough for Sakurai to go all in on a character from that yet, so I'm thinking Inkling and Ice Climbers with potential ARMS DLC character down the road or something.
They're going to announce it with ARMS.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't think so. Well, I guess we'll see.
They'll play so differently. I would love, actually at this point, I would rather an ARMS character than an Inkling. Probably just because it's newer to me. I thought about an Inkling so much, I'm already sick of it.
How dare you?
I'm really split like you two. Like I don't think it's going to be this year. Like as far as release, that's just not happening. But I'm also wondering, it's like, it's not come out right away, and why not just move on to the next Smash? Rather than a port of Smash Wii U. And
because one's way easier and cheaper.
True enough. That is the other thing. But we also have, hey, they're finally releasing the rest of the Amiibo, and I doubt that'll have any connection to it. But it was weird how long that took.
That was weird
to get the final Amiibo for that game, and I really don't know where to come down on this one. I'm gonna go.
3.
I'm gonna go
2.
no E3. I'm gonna say it's not gonna show up
No
at E3. Maybe a mention, kind of like, yeah, we got Smash Brothers coming, but we got nothing to announce otherwise.
They do love announcing Smash in the most lowest of key ways, right? Mm-hmm. And then they'll blow it out later.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh yeah, by the way, Smash is coming.
This is breaking my heart because we've got all these deluxes now. I don't want any other deluxe but Smash Deluxe. You can have your Pokken Tournament Deluxe and your Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I want Smash. And this is breaking my heart.
So just to maybe go outside the bounds of this exact conversation, or maybe within the context of them announcing Smash, if they do announce Smash, I'm sticking with what I said before. It's going to be Super Smash Bros. Switch. I don't think they want to announce it as Deluxe.
No.
I think they will present it kind of as a new game, even though it will largely be a port or upgraded version or deluxe version, if you will. But I do think they are going to go the extra mile here. I don't think it's just going to be Mario Kart. I think they're going to take it a step farther. I think it's going to be like Smash Brothers Wii U to 3DS. Like, they are similar games, but they are also different in the exact content they offer, the stage setup and whatnot. But I think they'll go even farther here with new characters, as we touched about, new modes. So I think while it will largely be an absorption of everything that came before, including possibly 3DS content, I think there will be more here. So I think it will justify the Super Smash Brothers Switch moniker, even if it's not a completely new game.
Well, and also it's important to remember that literally the Japanese version of Melee is called, like, Daranto's Smash Brothers Deluxe. So they're not going to use the name Smash Brothers Deluxe for that reason. I feel like they've kind of already used it in Japan. So I do agree that not only that, but there are going to be enough upgrades here to really call it, Super Smash Brothers for Nintendo Switch. That's kind of what I'm expecting it to be called. And I do think it is, for the record, it will absolutely be like a port of the Wii U version with new stuff and, like, probably 3DS stages. That's what I'm hoping and kind of thinking it'll be.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, Derek, prediction.
I'm going to go, this isn't a mind-blowing prediction or anything like that, but there's no way Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is coming out this year. It's probably going to get a delay at least at, like, the earliest to early 2018. Like, I just cannot see Xenoblade Chronicles 2 coming out this year.
But have you been following the music updates with?
I have, but it's they do seem to be making progress. But we've also, I don't know, it feels like we haven't heard that much. But with Xenoblade Chronicles X, as we got closer to its release, they were blowing out that game for a while and just showing off everything that it could do. So it makes me unsure, but I just cannot see 2 coming out this year, especially, again, to me being so crowded, because I would not expect it in October, maybe December. Like, might be December, but again, I'm so unsure about that. So that's why I'm going to go with a prediction for next year, early next year, but still next year.
But you think it'll be at E3 though, right? Or do you not?
Oh no, it'll be at E3, okay. But we're just going to get that announcement for delay. Like, here's more information about it, but hey, it's going to be 2018 now.
Do you think it'll be playable?
No.
Okay.
Because not even X was playable.
Right. Ash, thoughts?
You know what? I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say that I initially agreed with you, Derek, that it was absolutely going to be a 2018 game, but I'm getting the sense that this game is further along in development than most people realize, and I think it actually might make 2017. Those music updates are part of why, but I just get a sense that this game has been worked on for a lot of time before it was actually announced, and that it might actually be further along than we realize.
So, my brain agrees with Ash, but my heart agrees with Derek.
Right, I know it's hard. It's like, I'm not sure about that.
I will readily admit, I think all the evidence is actually kind of pointing toward it actually making release date. But my gut feeling is it's not. I think it will be pushed next year. Even, you know what? Even, it's not even just a matter of them finishing the game. It's also just like release date timing and, whatever else. Marketing. I think this will be pushed to next year. So, we'll see, but I actually agree with Derek.
Although counterpoint to that, does the Switch have any other high-profile RPGs coming out in late 2017, assuming it can be finished on time? I don't believe so.
It doesn't. I don't know if that necessarily matters that much.
No, but I mean, it's still nice to have a nice big bone to throw to the RPG crowd for the holiday season.
I mean,
Potentially,
I think Zelda still kind of fulfills that. I mean, it's not RPG, but I mean, Zelda's going to be big this holiday still, I think.
Sure.
And then if Skyrim comes out this holiday?
Well, it's supposed to come out over the summer. Didn't they say?
Is it? I've not kept track with that. So
Right.
All right, Tom, any thoughts on that? I know you're a big Xenoblade guy, right?
Yeah, it's like my Final Fantasy for you. No thoughts. I would just go with next year by the looks of the schedule and stuff. That'd be my guess. Now, do you think maybe potentially it could come out in Japan this year and in North America next year, or had they normally been released close together?
Actually, that's a good point because there is usually a big gap. I think it came out with Xenoblade Chronicles X. It came out in around March for Japan, and not until December for the States and the rest of the world. So that is another very likely thing that, hey, it's out in Japan, but you have to wait for an English version. Though I don't know if they might be trying to go for more simultaneous, especially because the Switch is region free. So it'd be
thinking that.
So it'd be really easy for people to just get the Japanese version early as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, because they risk kind of alienating their own domestic fan base if they have too much of a period, too long a period of time between the Japanese and American releases, because we're finally, or Western releases, because we're finally working with a Nintendo hardware that is region free.
All right, Tom, any predictions?
My prediction is I'm gonna say no Retro Studios until next year. I think they like to.
Oh, my heart!
Say, yeah. Well, for me, it's like I would love to see another Metroid or something. I think it's about time, but I think they're gonna need more time. I want to release it within 6 months, and I'll do a zany prediction.
Oh, hold on. We'll hold off on that. Is it related to Retro or?
No, a different
one. Okay, we'll save that.
Retro is my main one. So, what do you guys think about Retro? Still having to hold off another year.
So one of my predictions is that we will see it this year because it has.
I think so too.
It has been 3. So I think this is going to be one of the big surprise games, maybe the only big surprise game at this show. We're gonna see it. I don't think it's this year though. It'll be 2018. But it has been 3 years now since Tropical Freeze, and they even finished that game quite a bit before the game even came out, as I recall. So I think they've had ample time to work on whatever they've been working on, and we will see it. As for what it is, you got me. I have no clue.
The funny thing is, I'd be happy with just about anything from them. Like, obviously the big one is Metroid because Metroid needs love. But new Donkey Kong? Hell yeah, I'm all down for that. A brand new title that Retro came up with? Yeah, let's see what else they can do, and they're not working with a pre-established property. I just want to see something from Retro.
Yeah.
Me too, and I pretty much agree with what you said, Andre. I do think it's time. I think we're going to see it this year. It has been 4 years since Tropical Freeze was announced.
Right.
So it's been 4 E3s. I feel like that's more than enough time for them to at least announce their new project. But of course, this is Retro, and they seem to just take as much time as they need. But I do think we're going to see their new game this year, and like you, Derek, I'd be happy with anything. I mean, I would laugh at the reaction to a new Donkey Kong. Personally, I'd be thrilled at that.
I actually would be too.
How many people would be angry? Because Tropical Freeze was so good. And personally... Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, I was going to agree with you. It is so good. My only concern is, how do you top perfection?
Well, what I was saying is I kind of hope they complete their victory lap around the Donkey Kong Country franchise with a third game starring the Kremlings.
Yeah.
I want to see Retro's take on the Kremlings and the Animal Buddies. Bring back On Guard and Espresso. Like, I want to see Retro work with these beloved characters for one game in the series.
I totally agree with you. I would love to see another Donkey Kong. At the same time, I would probably prefer something new.
Sure.
And I know the internet is going to freaking lose it if they announce Donkey Kong.
They totally will.
Which upsets me because Tropical Freeze is legitimately one of the best games I played the last 5 years. And while I would love to play, and I would love to play more of that. But yeah, the internet's going to lose it if that happens. And at the same time, I don't think Tropical Freeze did as well as Nintendo may have expected it to, or at least as well as I expected or hoped it would. So I don't know if Nintendo would go out and make a third one before they try something new.
Yeah, although it is hard enough to, it's hard to say how much of that is because
true.
of the Wii U itself and its, terrible install base. I mean, I feel like the game could maybe, especially with the Switch's, being portable, I feel like the game could find a new large audience on the Switch if they wanted to do an enhanced re-release of it, separate from what Retro's also working on. Like, I want to make clear, I don't think that's what they're working on, but I feel like they could maybe do an enhanced re-release of that game separate from whatever their new project is.
I'm curious, Tom, why do you think they're not going to have something this year?
I just feel with Mario coming out at the end of the year that the game would be released next year. I guess after hearing your guys' points, a teaser trailer could be possible, and maybe it would be, especially if it was a new IP, maybe a more vague teaser trailer, sort of leaving us wondering what might be happening. I'm almost thinking something along the lines of a Hideo Kojima type style, where we get the idea of the characters and what the story vaguely might be, but we don't know the full details yet, and save that for next year. That's I just think in the past they wanted to release it within 6 months. That's why I say next year for Retro after announcing it. That's my thinking. Okay.
I mean, I do expect the new Retro game, whatever it might be, to be a 2018 release. There's no way it's coming out this year.
Yeah.
But as far as timing for it, I do see first half before next E3. So I feel like they would at least show a little bit, maybe get a title for what it is. I feel like if they go that Hideo Kojima route where they're sort of coy about what it is, people are going to run rampant and say, oh, is this Metroid? Is this whatever? What could this be? And get their expectations way too high. That is a huge pitfall.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you think they could have a new IP and maybe do something originally when they were working on GameCube at first, they had 4 different games, and one of them was a Twisted Metal game, and one of them was sort of a fantasy RPG, I believe, with large dragons. Do you think they'd go down one of those routes again and revisit it, or something totally new?
It's hard to say. I mean, Retro's kind of that maverick, quality at Nintendo that you don't ever really know what they're working on. I mean, back when Tropical Freeze was announced, literally 0 people expected Retro to be working on a new Donkey Kong Country. So, it's really hard to know.
All right. Well, let's go and move on to another prediction here. Mine is going to be kind of boring because we already know everything about this game, but ARMS will be shown off. The game comes out that Friday, so it's going to have a presence no matter what. However, I think we are going to get our first look at upcoming free content or upcoming free updates for the game. And I think that will include at least one new character and perhaps a new mode as well. I don't know they announced anything about new modes, but I think we'll get a decent look at what's coming to the game.
That soon? I mean,
I think so. This is a great time to to build a little bit more hype for it, because they've already had the direct, so what more can they talk about except new content that's coming to it?
Yeah. And reviews have already gone out. So if you're going to talk about ARMS and get people hyped up, hey, it exists, and hey, here's the next bit of content. Because I don't think it took that long for Splatoon to have its new content coming out really soon after.
It was already on the game disc, as I recall. A lot of it was already on the disc, so it was ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things where I'm with you. I could totally see them announcing at least one new character, maybe a new stage instead, for soon after its release, as far as the part of the free update, which is good.
Like a really easy addition I could see, and I'm trying to say this without spoiling anything, but they showed it off during the ARMS Direct. One of those boss characters. I forget the exact context of which they showed it, but they could make that playable, for instance, as a first new character.
Sure. So, although to me that doesn't seem like a great character to include.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of see that happening in some kind of early July Direct when things are otherwise quiet, like some mini ARMS Direct. Hey guys, here's the first round of free downloadable content coming to ARMS.
They won't do a Direct for that. If I remember correctly, they never did a Direct for ARMS and for Splatoon. Mm-hmm. It was just, hey, this is out.
Sure. Well, that's then I mean, maybe not specifically a Direct, but an announcement early July when things are otherwise pretty quiet for games. I don't know. I just feel like that seems like a more appropriate time, but you could be right, Andre. I can see a scenario in which what you're talking about happens for sure.
Mm-hmm. Ash, prediction.
Okay, I'm going to go somewhat bold on this one. I think we're going to get Animal Crossing for Switch revealed. I think it's going to happen. Yeah, I think so. I think it feels like it's time. I mean, New Leaf has been great. It's been awesome. It's had a lot of shelf life. It's got a new patch to enable the amiibo cards, but ultimately it's aging, and I think it's time for. I feel like they want to get the Animal Crossing experience on Switch because it's so perfect for Switch, A, but B, they've got to leverage those Animal Crossing amiibo they already produce, which are not selling, because there's no way to use them except for Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, which is, that speaks for itself. So I kind of feel like the time is right for Animal Crossing on Switch.
Wow.
Or at least the announcement of it. Now, to be clear, I think this would come out in 2018. I'm not talking about a release this year. But I do think we're going to see it revealed, at least.
Just to throw it out there, I think that would be an awesome December title, especially, before Christmas, of course. But I think that's also when Animal Crossing on GameCube launched, as I recall, like way back in the day.
I think so, yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, that's a bold one, because I can see that happening. At the same time, I feel like if we got, we're kind of hitting up against a limit now of big announcements I could see during this.
Right.
And I don't know where I fall on that. I'm gonna go no. Gut reaction. I'm not feeling it yet. But if you look at the timetable, we're about due for that, right? So
that's exactly it. Why I feel the way I do.
All right, I'm reversing course. Animal Crossing. Yeah, I think I agree.
Nice.
I think it'd be too long till next year. Go ahead, Derek.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say maybe we'll get a hint of it, but there's maybe. But remember, we also have that Animal Crossing mobile title coming out, and having a real title instead might throw it off. Now, granted, that didn't seem to stop Fire Emblem with having Heroes come out before Echoes or anything like that. Who knows? But for some reason, I don't know if they'll talk about it yet. This feels like something they talk about a little later because we got New Leaf in September, which seemed to work out very well for it. So I don't know. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say we're not going to see it.
I'm also going to say no, and Andre, I'm going to say Mr. Rossetti is going to get you for retracting your statement and changing your mind.
Oh no, not again.
To be clear, though, if there is even a hint of it, though, Derek, that still counts as it showing up.
Hey, that's great.
You said there
Are
may
you
be
saying
a hint.
if Reggie's wearing a little pin?
A pin.
Yeah.
Just like that. What did he have a Metroid pin or something like that at one point? Yeah, exactly.
He sure did.
Anyway, it'd be great, but I just don't see it happening. Not yet.
Yeah. I'm so torn on that. I might change my mind again by the end. So
you're not allowed to. You have to stay locked in.
I can undo whatever I want to.
Nice.
All right, Derek, prediction.
All right. I'm going to go with... I think we're going to get some Virtual Console details. Maybe not a lot, but I think we're going to get at least a little bit.
I'm going to say no.
I am in complete disagreement with that.
I don't think so. I don't think this is quite the venue. I would love to, don't get me wrong. I want to find out more, but I don't think it's a venue.
Oh.
Yeah.
No support whatsoever.
Not even a short montage video?
Well, only because they literally just announced exactly what the Virtual Console is and is not compared to the Classic Games Collection. And they've said straight up, we don't have anything more to announce about the Virtual Console at this time. We're still figuring it out. You can't really get much plainer than that, and that was a week. It
honestly sounds like this was a recent change in direction for them, so I don't think they have much more to tell us at this point.
I don't know. Exactly. They're saying at this time, there's always a ways you can deny stuff and then have it show up.
Oh, for sure, but I actually do believe them this time. I don't think they know.
Yeah. I hope you're wrong. I hope we're wrong, though, Derek. I would love for you to be right about that, because I want so badly to see the Switch Virtual Console happen and be a thing, but I just don't think it's going to happen yet.
Well, if I can have somewhat of a correct prediction. I don't know what it's going to be, but considering how it's been the last few years, I also believe that we're going to see some kind of smaller game released that day for people to play. Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I don't know what it's going to be,
but
it seems very obvious that's going to happen.
It could be Kirby.
That's true. It could be that the 3D Kirby game.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, actually, that would be really cool. I would love that. Have that on day one. Have ARMS for the end of the week. Oh, that'd be beautiful.
That would be really cool.
All right. That was your prediction, right, Derek?
Yeah.
Okay. Tom, anything else?
Okay, I'm going to go on a limb and sort of just say something I'd like to have happen, but probably won't.
I hope by limb you mean it's something ARMS related.
No. I damn it. I wasted a pun. Well, you might dig it. With this one, I want to say Yacht Club Games will be there to show off a snippet of their new game, which might be like remember them talking about like a Shovel Knight RPG in the style of Mario RPG or the 16-bit Shovel Knight. So it's probably too early, but maybe they've been working behind the scenes at the same time on their campaign updates, and we'll show it off on Nintendo first. So that's what I'd like to see. I'd say it's probably still too early, but that'd be really cool. For what I'd like.
Tom, why are you making my imagination run wild with the Shovel Knight RPG in the style of Super Mario RPG? That would be the coolest thing. I know. Oh, that would be cool. I don't think that... if it'll happen, I don't think it's going to be quite that soon. I feel like, if anything, they would show off a snippet of the King Knight campaign first, which I do actually believe is probably going to come to Nintendo platforms before anything else. But I don't even know, knowing Yacht Club and how close to their chest they'd like to keep their cards until right before they're ready to release something, I kind of feel like it might be too soon to see anything else from them, but I would love to.
Yeah, I guess you think they would probably just do the, here's our next game, and it's out in a couple weeks. So you think they'd do that sort of thing? Or
well, no, I mean, not in a couple of weeks, but I just feel like, I don't know if they're going to use E3 to show off their new game, because I feel like from what they've said, it sounds like a more recent venture for them. Yeah. Like they're still working full-time on the King Knight campaign for Shovel Knight. It feels like that this other game they're working on still might be in like the pre-production stage.
Oh, okay, just still testing it out and stuff. So like a small team.
Yeah, just kind of like concepting it out. And I could be wrong, and they may be ready to show it, but it just feels like they're not maybe quite there yet.
Yeah, that's what I guess, but that's just sort of like a dream situation for me.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I think we get Super Shovel Knight before we got that game though. So
hey, I'll take all the above.
That's true, right? All right, my next prediction, and actually this might be why I have to go back in the Animal Crossing prediction, just because I feel like this is a big one, and I think we're hitting up against too many unannounced surprises.
Right.
Because if they announce all this stuff, it'd be amazing. My prediction: Metroid will be here in some capacity. I don't know whether it's a retro game or something else. I am predicting some form of Metroid, though. I have no idea how, but...
Federation Force 2.
Oh my god. I mean, they did tease that sequel.
Esports League.
Yeah, they did have a sequel bait in there that picked up from where the sequel bait of Metroid Prime 3, so who knows? Mm-hmm. That's why I kind of think we are going to see something from Retro this time around. I just... It feels like it's time, and I know that gets us in trouble time and time and time again. But it's been enough time that I think it's Retro's going to show off something, and I'll be, especially based off of Federation Forces ending, I'll be shocked if it's not Metroid.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering which one of us was going to address that, the elephant in the room, which of course is Metroid. And so for so many years it's been me, and I've always been wrong, thinking, okay, they're going to bring a Metroid game to 3DS, and it never has happened. And of course, I'm not going to predict that this year because the 3DS is in a different position than it was in prior years. But I kind of agree with you, Andre. I feel like we're going to see Metroid there in some capacity, and I'm kind of erring towards Switch. Like, I think it's going to be a Switch game.
Oh man, that...
I don't know if, like, the 3DS, obviously they're supporting it into 2018, and I get that, and it's clear that they're doing that. But I feel like for Samus's big comeback after Other M, I feel like they're not going to relegate that to 3DS in 2018.
Would they give Tecmo Koei the keys to that car again?
I don't think so. Yeah. But, I mean, it is time, though.
Yeah, I feel like it is. We'll find out.
It's been time.
Soon enough. I know it has been time. Well,
I mean,
especially for a good Metroid game.
Right, and look, if Bubsy can come back this E3,
my god,
Samus can come back this E3, okay?
There's a lot of things that can come back if Bubsy can come back.
Yeah.
Well, everything can come back if Bubsy can come back.
Even
what's it, that Penny Arcade comic, Rystar? Where's Rystar at?
Right. I mean, hell, even Mega Man got a new collection now. So if Mega Man and Bubsy can have something at E3, I feel like Samus can pull something out.
Well, do you think Captain Falcon's going to get that kind of love, or you think they're going to forget about it still?
No, there's. I wish. I would love to see an F-Zero game. I'm gonna stick with my previous prediction. I forget what discussion it was. I think we'll see an F-Zero game sometime this generation, but it's not happening right now. So.
Yeah, and I think that when they do, I feel like they might even tap Sega to help on it again, because F-Zero GX was so well received and continues to be held up as pretty much the top shining example of the futuristic anti-gravity racer subgenre. So I feel like when they do that,
Is Amusement Vision still with them, though? I'm not sure.
That I don't know, but
because in my opinion, I think the one that actually has the best chance of taking over for it is what is it, Shinen with
Shinen with Fast RMX,
yeah,
Fast, yeah.
All right, well, let's get back on topic here. Ash, prediction.
Man, see, I had another one, but I agree with kind of you guys in that we're getting up to the limit here in terms of what could possibly be
I know,
announced.
that's a thing, right?
So, originally, I had kind of thought it might be time for, Pikmin 4, whatever that game actually is going to be called. We thought it might be on Wii U, probably going to be on Switch, definitely going to be on Switch now. But now that we're getting Hey Pikmin this year, well, actually this month, I kind of don't think we're going to get a Pikmin announcement right now at E3.
Unless Nintendo learned from the Federation Force fiasco to announce a proper game alongside a lesser game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it has been quite a while since Pikmin 3, so, and we know beyond a shadow of a doubt, Miyamoto has made several allusions to the fact that Pikmin 4 has been in active development for Wii U, and that's clearly going to be for Switch now. So they've been working on something. It's just a matter of whether they're ready to announce it.
So, or even if they are, if they would want to announce it at E3.
Right.
Because I could be misremembering now, was Pikmin 3 the first Wii U, the first, post-launch, or rather pre-launch Wii U E3? Was that when Miyamoto came out with a Pikmin in his pocket or whatever?
I'm not sure. It's been so long.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just remember, for whatever reason, I'm not feeling Pikmin at E3. I don't know if it's a big enough title to warrant that attention. Maybe, I don't know, maybe in the Treehouse. But I don't know. I feel like that's something they'd announced in a direct, separate of E3.
That's true, actually. That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, that's why I was kind of wavering on it, but I think my official... before Hey Pikmin, I would have said yes, but now I'm actually going to veer toward no and say that Pikmin will not show up at E3.
Especially because I don't think it'd be coming out this year anyway, so...
Right.
I don't see that. So yeah, I agree. It's something to hold off regardless.
I'm so split on that one, but I'm going to agree with you guys.
Tom?
Yeah. I agree that I think it's they would focus on Hey Pikmin and wait for the other one still. That's what I think.
Okay. Derek, prediction.
I think we're going to actually see... I mean, we already know, thanks to just everything, that Mario and Rabbids are coming to us, but I think we're also going to... So we're going to get some time dedicated to whatever that turns out to be, but... even before that, we got that sort of leak reveal, whatever, of Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga DX, and they had two, emblems, I guess, for the games, and they had one for Mario and Luigi, and they had one for Ever Oasis, and having Ever Oasis, it's the same, and that was way before anything.
Yeah, it's real. We know it's basically real, right?
Yeah,
exactly. So it's going to get announced.
Totally.
During the spotlight, though, which I think they said is... Well, the insinuation was it's going to be Switch-focused.
Is it going to be Switch-focused?
So here, I actually have the thing here. They say, Nintendo's activities at E3 kick off with the Nintendo Spotlight E3 2017 video presentation featuring a closer look at the Super Mario Odyssey game and new details for Nintendo Switch games launching this year.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Then that would be a treehouse reveal then.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, might have to stash that away.
Yeah, or maybe it's a smaller game being released that day.
That's true,
go nuts.
And it does feel like a Treehouse, stream type announcement.
It does. I agree. It's not a brand new game. It's an updated. I mean, as far as we know, it's an updated port with, I guess, a new component, the Bowser Minions game or whatever.
Yeah, whatever that might be.
But I agree. The fact that Icons there means it's probably coming out soon. If it's not announced at E3, it would be at in a direct shortly after. But I think a Treehouse would be a perfect venue in which to show that off. So. And if that's the same day release, Derek, man, that'd be pretty cool. And that would cover your prediction from earlier, so...
Yeah, I was actually going to say that. That does feel like the kind of game they might surprise us with for a same-day launch. Like, hey, guys, here's a new Mario and Luigi remake, and it's available right after this presentation. Like, that seems like the kind of game they would do that with.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tom, prediction.
I'm going to say, Beyond Good and Evil 2 will not show up, and that them saying that it's E3 is not the best venue for it, I'm going to hold the creator to his word, and that's not just smoke and mirrors stuff. So I think we're not going to see it.
You know, it's funny.
There we go.
That actually is a good prediction, because we've seen quite a few times where developers will say one thing, it's a totally different thing. Like David Jaffe. Exactly, yep. And, yeah. So, I agree with you. I don't think we're getting Beyond Good and Evil this year, as much as that pains me to say. And even if we did, I don't think it would be in the context of a Nintendo presentation anyway. Necessarily, so that hurts. So I want that game. At least I think I want that game. Who knows what that game even is? So, all right. Next prediction for me is I guess we should get this one out of the way. Splatoon 2 obviously will be there. It'll be playable, and I think they're going to show off a new mode for the game too. A brand new mode. We haven't seen it yet. I don't know what that mode might be. Maybe something involving the Ocklings. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll go all in on that. We will get an Ockling focus mode. So there you go.
Maybe that would be interesting to have that kind of thing. I mean, the easiest thing to do as far as a new mode is just, hey, here's a new competitive mode. Especially since they're having the competitive. I'm blanking on it. The tournament they're there, the Open Invitational.
Oh, the Invitational,
the
right.
The Invitational. That'd be a good time to and for the final round, brand new mode that nobody has any experience with. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah, kind of like an Omegathon type thing.
Well, that's what they did
Yeah.
with. That's how they revealed Federation Force with during the Nintendo World Championships. That one E3.
Right. That's
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I do agree, though. I feel like it's just far enough out from launch that we're still going to get like one more mode revealed, and E3 would be the perfect place to do that.
It's weird. I feel like even though this game launches literally next month, we're just a little over a month away from this game. It still feels like we don't know a ton about it, and it would concern me if we actually do. But it feels like we don't, right? Is that just me?
Well, remember with Splatoon launching, there wasn't too much there at first.
Yeah.
What if there's more stuff just rolled out over its life?
Well, yeah. I mean, I just mean like I think there's a lot more they can talk about with this game.
Yeah.
It does feel like we don't know as much as you would think we would, a month out from launch.
Right.
Yeah, they haven't actually gone through and broke down the entire Inkopolis Square yet.
Yeah.
They haven't painted the full picture.
Yeah.
And I'll throw out another prediction. This might conflict with my previous one, but on Splatoon 2. But regardless, I think they will have the playable the Salmon Run mode. It's Salmon Run, right? I think that'll be playable on the show floor.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a really fun one to showcase.
I think so.
That would be.
And it would actually help like show off like what's new about this game versus Splatoon 1. Because we know how Splatoon works now. We don't need to play more. They've even had a test fire. We don't need more of that. So unless they show off a new mode instead.
Yeah, true. So
all right,
let's hope.
Yep. That was my prediction. Ash, what's your prediction?
I have kind of another downer prediction here. I do not think, because Square Enix has already come out and kind of given all their big announcements, I don't think we're going to see a localization announcement for Seiken Densetsu Collection. I was really hoping there might be a chance, and it may still happen, but I don't think it's going to happen at E3.
Ash, why do you have to break my heart?
Well, and you were the one, we broke each other's hearts on this, because I was kind of arguing for the possibility with you earlier, and then you were like, I don't think so, Ash, and I do agree with you, like, I was hoping, but now that they've kind of already made their big E3 announcements, like Dissidia NT and stuff, I don't think it's going to happen.
That one's so hard. I mean, I think you're probably right. It is the inclusion of Secret of Mana 3 that really just holds it up. And I don't know. It feels like there's a lot of demand, but it may just be the people around me that are really excited for it and really want it. I don't know. It's really hard to say. But I hope Square sees that there is some demand for this game, because there's still so much love for Secret of Mana 2, and people would love to play Secret of Mana 3.
And it is so perfect for the form factor, for what the Switch can do. And I mean, the 3 players for Secret of Mana and 2 players for Seiken Densetsu 3. Like, there is clear demand for this game to come to the US, but even though it seems like an easy thing to go into a ROM and hack in English text in there, that's time and money. That's, localization is not cheap, and Square may be at the point where they're not sure whether it's worth the gamble yet.
All right, Derek, prediction?
This we're going to a boring one. Fire Emblem Warriors is probably going to get a release date for October.
Yeah.
I feel like I was going to say September, but with Pokken getting that release, I'm like, no, okay, I can see October. I don't really see anything else filling in that gap, so that feels like a perfect time to just slot Fire Emblem Warriors right in there, keep up the hype, and we'll probably get probably 2 to 3 new characters, maybe. I think we're going to get a few here and there, probably showing off the different types of gameplay styles, because I do think there's going to be a playable demo there as well, in the same vein as Hyrule Warriors.
100% agreed.
Yeah, I agree.
Tom, prediction?
Oh man, do you want a boring prediction or exciting one?
Let's go with, well, depending on how many predictions you have left, I guess let's go with boring, and we'll save the more exciting one for a little bit later. We're probably wrapping up. We're probably going to be wrapping up soon, but whatever.
Yeah.
Boring one. Okay, do you think we'll see perhaps Mario Kart DLC, or does that game just have so much in it already that it's chock full to the brim?
You stole my prediction.
I know, mine too.
I am predicting. All right, good. Well, we'll get into this then. I was going to predict there actually will be more DLC for Mario Kart, and specifically
for battle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whether I think.
Forward?
God damn, that'd be awesome. Holy crap, I want block forward. So yeah, I think new stage is the most likely thing. You know, sure, I'll hop on the block forward bandwagon. That'd be amazing. I could even see them throwing in another mode there too. They already have 5 of them. Why not throw in another one? Like, it just seems like, you know, it's a modular thing they could add just to add more content to the game. So yeah, I don't think they're done with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I think that would be a good way to inject a little bit more steam into that game, especially as we head toward the holidays.
I agree, and I do think it would probably be battle mode focused, but I don't want it to be. I do want new cups. Like I'm still holding out hope for like a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe X Kirby DLC pack like they did with Animal Crossing and F-Zero. What was it? Zelda. So yeah, I mean I think it's probably going to be battle mode focused, but I do think they're going to do something with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe specifically and give that game its own set of DLC.
Mm-hmm. I just had a thought that would drive you guys, like, make you guys just lose your minds. Have that, okay, Ash, you get your Kirby pack where you get Kirby characters involved in Mario, but it's going to be battle mode focused, and we get a new mode that's City Trial.
That would be hilarious.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I would be actually okay with that. If that's what it, yeah.
I want
if
that.
we get Kirby in that game at all, I'm happy.
No, I want that so bad now.
I knew you would.
That'd be really interesting. Like, what if like you were able to power up your character just like in City Trial in Mario Kart? Maybe you start off as really slow, weak, and you can pick up these power-ups that make you faster, that you can I don't know, you stay in the air longer. Like, I mean, they could basically just make every character completely worthless, but you have to build them up, like in City Trial. I think that'd be a really interesting way, but I think it'd be too different from Mario Kart, unfortunately. But I would love that.
Maybe, but you have all those items: mushrooms to make yourself go a little faster, golden mushroom to go really fast, poison mushrooms to slow you down.
Yeah.
Just the various items and all that stuff. So it might be possible. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, but yeah, that'd be awesome. That's true.
It's like consistently the most frustrating conversation to have, because this is all due to that stupid Rosalina trailer for Smash. If I didn't know I wanted Kirby in Mario Kart, I wouldn't be thinking about it. But that damn trailer is what did it.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
What if in Battle Kirby could suck in weapons just as soon as they're about to get to him to kind of like parry them? He would be like the odd job of the characters.
So into that. Just make Kirby OP. I'd be all about that.
All right.
Oh my god.
So that was I kind of bandwagoned on that prediction. So let's go and go with you, Ash. What's your next prediction?
This is kind of a boring / nothing prediction, I guess. But I think we're going to see. So. Yeah, I think we're going to see Yooka-Laylee on Switch running. Like Yooka-Laylee running on the Switch. Hopefully, get a sense of how improved it is or is not from the 360 and PS4 launch. But yeah, I mean, they did just show off the first screenshot, I guess, of Yooka-Laylee running on the Switch. So I think we might see it at E3, like, get a good sense for how development is progressing.
During the spotlight, you mean, or?
Oh, sorry, I just mean on the show, like at the show, like maybe,
okay.
Assuming Playtonic will be there. I don't know for sure, like I haven't actually looked into this, but my prediction is that it seems like it would be a good time to show off Yooka-Laylee on the Switch. But that seems like it might be something that would be in like a montage on the treehouse or something, not in the actual spotlight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Andy Robinson did tweet out, "Hope you guys bought your tickets to E3," with, I believe, the British currency like taking some huge spike the other day with the election. So
yeah,
maybe they'll be there.
I have a feeling we might see it. I mean, if it's coming out this fall, this is the right time to show it off.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a huge slew of updates from their Kickstarter email the other day. So that like a bunch of fixes and updates and tweaks to gameplay based off feedback.
Well, the game needed it, so I'm glad they're doing it.
Yep.
All right. Well, I agree, Ash. That's a good one. So I think he'll be there. But
yeah.
Derek, prediction?
I'm probably going to get more information about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, just to like maybe see it a little bit in action
during
just
the spotlight.
To get a better idea. No, during the treehouse. Okay. I think it's going to get a segment at the treehouse more than anything else. I don't even think Pokken will get the spotlight, though. I do think a Pokken demo will be available.
On the show floor.
On the show floor.
Okay. Yeah, I could see a treehouse segment. And do you remember, did Sun and Moon have a treehouse segment? It did,
yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time we got to see the game in action
Yeah.
and really being played live, so we got a better idea of the opening area. Now, granted, it was announced way before that. We knew a lot more, but I can still see like it essentially like it gives us an idea of what makes this so different from Sun and Moon.
Yeah, you actually just touched on it, Derek, why I don't think we're going to see it at E3. It's because we literally just learned of this game's existence last week. Or, sorry, this week.
See, I don't think that matters as much because I think that was more of a timing issue because they wanted to get that out there and announced before it could be leaked because there's probably going to be an article in the newest Korokoro, and that's right before E3. Or at least it would have been leaked from the Korokoro before E3.
Right.
So
that's a fair point.
They needed to put it out there, I think, sooner just so they can have the surprise themselves rather than, every time with Korokoro. I don't have no idea when it's actually going to release. I just know it's like it always gets leaked as far as the Pokemon stuff.
Right. No, that's a fair point. I feel like more Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon information because the Pokemon Company likes to be so private about, and keep their cards so close to their chest. I'm kind of seeing that as more of like its own update later on, like its own look into how the game is progressing and new information later on. But I don't know if we'll see it at E3.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I think I'm with Derek on this one. I think we will see it because it's coming out this year, so
True. Comes out in November, so there's not that much time.
Yeah.
Tom, prediction.
I think this is a IP that has been neglected for too long, except in little sort of flashes and minigame type things. I think we'll get a downloadable version of a 3D Duck Hunt that you kind of somehow play with the gamepad controllers or the
oh my god, I would love that.
Oh, the Joy-Cons, you mean?
That would be sick.
Yeah, the
Joy-Cons. You kind of aim with them, maybe with motion stuff.
That would be
so that is my random prediction for a long
awesome.
neglected sequel that I'd like to see.
I don't know if it'll happen, but I want it.
That would be sick. But although, Nintendo Europe did just but they filed trademarks for Duck Hunt and Hogan's Alley.
Oh, man.
So, I don't know.
Maybe Nintendo Shooting Gallery.
Oh, Shooting Gallery, like a bunch of them in one package.
Oh,
Yeah.
they could combine crossbow training in that too, which
You in that game.
I love
swear to
that
God.
game. What?
You do.
Yeah.
And throw in Wii Tanks 2 just because I'm sadistic. I don't know.
Yoshi Safari, which no one played. Literally no one played that game.
Yeah.
That game was so good. Bring that game back. Let's get a new Yoshi Safari in there. I'd be
Right.
all about that.
Yeah.
Now's the time. And Yoshi is using like I was gonna say a Safari-like weapon, a bazooka-like weapon in the Mario and Rabbids box art.
Oh, yeah.
So,
A Pokemon Snap on Rails? No, that's a different company.
all right. Well, I guess I have a slight downer of a prediction then. And I actually went back. I'm actually reversing course from what I went into this discussion thinking. But based on how much we've covered already, I was originally going to predict the Zelda DLC Pack 2 would be shown off. I don't think that anymore. I don't think Pack 2 will be shown off. I think that'll be shown off later in the year. So yeah, I don't think Zelda DLC Pack 2 will be here.
Don't think they can pack it in?
But I do think Pack 1 will be shown off.
During the spotlight?
Treehouse,
I could
maybe
see.
Treehouse.
Maybe during the
Spotlight.
Treehouse.
Yeah, during the Treehouse, I think it will be.
Yeah, actually, that's a great prediction, actually. I agree with that. I think that's a great venue to show that off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we're going to get Pack 2 here.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
It would be really hype though to have a trailer for Pack 2, like show off what the story mode's going to be.
It would be. I'm just
yeah.
not feeling it. I mean, I guess Zelda is a huge game, so I guess it wouldn't be the worst venue for it. But I feel like they have so much more else to cover. They probably want to cover. I feel like they want to hit on. Well, I mean, granted, I've already had other DLC predictions in here, so who knows? But for whatever reason, I think Zelda just feels a little bit too new still. So I don't know if they want to be hyping it up quite yet until we're closer.
Really? Because you're talking about Mario Kart 8, and Mario Kart 8 came out after Zelda.
Yeah, but that's also a 3-year-old game still. In general.
True.
Yeah, I kind of think that feels more like a PAX announcement, like a PAX West, PAX Prime.
Oh, that's a great,
timing.
yeah. That's a
I
good
feel
one.
like that would be the perfect time to show off a trailer for the second DLC pack for Zelda.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Ash, prediction.
Well, I'm kind of out. So
Yeah, I'm running
I just
out
have
too.
one more. Yeah, I have one more point to talk about, but I don't necessarily think it's definitely going to be at E3. But that is the Super Nintendo or SNES Classic Edition. I have a feeling it's real and it's being made. It's going to be a thing. It's just a matter of when it's going to be shown, but I don't think it's going to be here.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't see them showing it here. It's
Yeah.
going to be all about the Switch.
Yeah, it's not. They're gonna just drop that randomly one day, like they did with the NES
completely
Classic.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that won't be here, but someday.
Otherwise, I'm kind of out.
All right, Derek.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, I got one more, and I'm like, I know Next Level made Federation Force, but those guys are pretty quick about going from game to game to game. So I wonder if we'll see something new from Next Level, or at least a tease of
No,
it. You know,
we won't. There was a pretty big gap between Dark Moon and Metroid Federation Force, as I recall.
Oh, was
I think there was.
Okay.
Federation
I
or
wasn't
Dark Moon is what, 2013, and then so that was 3 years to Federation Force, as I recall. So
Well, remember Dark Moon? It was about 2 years, wasn't it, after they announced it that it came out because it had sort of many delays.
well, I'm talking. Well,
That's probably one of the reasons the gap.
no, I'm talking from the release date though. I think it came out in 2013,
yeah.
as I recall.
right.
No,
I
okay.
think.
Right.
Hold on, let me double check that real quick.
Well, something from Next Level would be great, because I still enjoyed Federation Force for what it was, but they did Punch Out, they did, of course, Dark Moon, they did the Striker series. I would love to see a sequel to any one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
you
not
know,
Federation
Agreed.
Force, but any of those other three.
Luigi's Mansion is a good point. It's interesting that you bring that up, because if they're trying to turn that into a franchise, which it almost seemed like they were for a while with Dark Moon and Luigi's Mansion Arcade, it is around time for another Luigi's Mansion game if they're trying to make that a franchise. And I feel like a lot of people would really want to see Luigi's Mansion on Switch, even if it was like a port of Dark Moon, like a completely remastered Dark Moon port with console quality graphics. I feel like that would go over well with people.
You know what I would love is for them to really embrace the Joy-Cons. I know some people are going to get on me about this, but I would love a motion-controlled Luigi's Mansion where you actually point around the screen with your Joy-Con as the actual vacuum nozzle. So I guess it would have to be like first or third person in that case. I think that'd be really cool. I think that'd be a little bit similar to the arcade game that came out a few months ago in Japan. I think that'd be neat.
What has ARMS done to you, Andre?
I know it had motion controls that worked well, right?
Yeah, I know.
I would love the Switch to somehow be paired with a GPS, so you have to go around the world collecting ghosts.
Oh.
Just seeing a bunch of people swinging around their
Luigi's
Switches.
Mansion Go.
Luigi's Mansion Go.
Oh man. But I'm gonna say no Next Level yet. As much as I would love them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm running out of predictions here. Or no, I'm going ahead of myself. Tom, prediction? Anything?
Okay, one last prediction for me. I believe at this E3, vendors are allowed to sell merchandise on the show floor. Nintendo will have some form of merchandise there, and the line will sadly be longer than the line for Mario Odyssey.
Oh, that's dark.
That's pretty dark.
That's pretty dark.
Actually, I'd be okay with that, because that means they're in line for merchandise, and that means
Yeah,
we
we
can
can
get
play
into
the
audio,
game.
so Odyssey a lot quicker.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about best for us, though.
Best for us is not have them be those people
like-
there at all.
Yeah, right.
They're all there, and the E3 media lunch line, I mean, that works out in our favor.
All right. My next prediction is I'm gonna combine two here because one is not worth standing by itself, especially because we already touched on it. But my prediction, obviously, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle will be there, and it looks surprisingly good. That's my prediction. It's gonna surprise people because it actually looks like a decent game.
Yeah.
That is so hard to say, because it's sort of like the Rabbids have got a minionish quality to them now, where just seeing them gives such a vicious reaction, like, ugh, these things, like, why do they have to be here? But I've never hated the Rabbids. I thought they overstayed their welcome, but I did find them endearing in their first game. But as far as how the gameplay is going to be, I'm not sure. Like, it's supposed to be like a strategy title, which I'm all about. Like, that interests me kind of a lot. Like, what kind of direction they would take it in. But I'm going to agree with you. I think it's actually going to look surprisingly fun. I think it's going to have a lot of dumb humor, and that humor is going to be what's going to sell people or not. But I think gameplay-wise, it might be decent.
Okay.
Yeah, I obviously it's going to be there, and I agree that it's going to look a lot better than people expect, but I also predict that it's still not going to make me care. Like, I still personally don't think I'm going to care, but I do think it's going to look a lot better than people are expecting, and I think that people who are really into the idea of a strategy RPG type game starring the Mario characters and the Rabbids characters. That's just such a weird sentence.
Well, let's be clear. No one's into that per se.
Well, that's true. Yeah, yeah. But like, I feel like people who are open, like who are into that genre, like you know me, I'm more of a straight JRPG guy. I'm not as into the strategy aspect of things. But for people who are into that, I do agree that this game is going to probably surprise people.
Okay. I didn't expect that prediction to go as long as that did, so let me give my proper prediction here. I think we are going to get a lot of a lot of big third-party games announced, or rather, maybe not big, a lot of third-party games announced. I don't think we're necessarily going to be seeing a lot of third-party games, but I think we'll get a lot of announcements. But I think a lot of people or a lot of companies now are looking at the Switch's success, and they're going to want in on that. Kind of like with the Wii back in the day. And they may not always be top tier efforts, but I do think we're going to get a surprising amount of third-party support here. And to get more specific, because I don't have too many specific predictions in that regard, but I do think Final Fantasy will be there in some way or another, whether the Final Fantasy VII Remake or 15.
Wow, that's a bold prediction.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that is super bold.
Wow.
I'm gonna say no. I mean, could be. That'd be awesome if it did. I want to be wrong, but I don't know if I could see that happening. I do think we might see a few Switch announcements at other conferences. So like, maybe Ubisoft, maybe EA, because I think publishers might be starting to notice this. But anytime a new game is coming out, when's this coming to Switch? Why isn't this on Switch? That is a very common question to people. Like, people want these games on the Switch. There is massive demand for it, or at least dedicated demand for it. So we'll see.
And that's kind of why I think we might see that more throughout this year after E3 and next year, Andre. Mainly because, like, for example, Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. People are really upset that's not on Switch. I am too. But if you think about it, it's very likely that Legacy Collection 2 and the Disney Afternoon Collection, games like that, were still in development when the Switch became a thing. So, developers really literally may not have had time to react to the Switch and its, out of the gate success enough to announce these games for Switch. So I feel like, though we may not see that really strong showing of third-party support this year, I feel like that's going to ramp up throughout the year, assuming the Switch continues to do really well.
See, well, that's kind of why I think and said, like, we'll get a lot of announcements, but we won't see them. I think a lot of companies, and maybe they won't even get that specific, but I think we will see like a lot of support from third-party companies here. We just may not see a lot of support, we'll hear a lot of support. We may not see it.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Do we have any predictions left, guys? Anything else you want to throw out there?
Maybe we'll see Dragon Quest XI running on either 3DS or Switch.
I can see that.
That's the only other thing I got. I hope it's coming because that looks like an awesome RPG. But I don't know if Sony's nailing down like an exclusivity in the US as far as on PS4s. That's what makes it tricky as far as whether or not it's going to come to the Switch at all. But might see something from the 3DS version at the very least.
I'm trying to think of anything else. I don't think we're going to see any new Sonic Mania info necessarily. I think they've kind of blown out. They announced Chemical Plant Zone, and right before the show. So I think we'll probably get to play new stuff. Right. Even on the Switch version, I think we'll get to play new stuff across all platforms that we haven't played before. But I don't think we're going to see any major new content shown off for Sonic Mania. I think Chemical Plant probably was their E3 announcement thing. Okay.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
Anything else, Tom?
No, I think anything else would be even more wild predictions at this point.
So I have one more prediction. I predict that we won't see a game from NST there, but if we did, it would be freaking Mario vs. Donkey Kong again.
So true.
Wave race one, or the snowboarding one.
All right, so now that we've gone through all our predictions, I have to ask, how are you guys feeling about E3 now? Are you more excited, less excited than you were before? Do you think all of our expectations are realistic? Because I feel like individually they all are, but taken all together, if they actually deliver on everything that we suggested, that'd be a pretty good E3, I think.
That would be like a god tier E3.
Yeah,
exactly. It would be, but it's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think some of everything we've all said is going to come true, but there's no way all of these things can happen. But I do agree, like, individually, a lot of this stuff sounds pretty sound. Mm-hmm. Sounds pretty sound.
Cut it in half. It's like when you're predicting how long something will take, you double it. Well, in this case, with predictions, they cut it in half. Maybe that's more realistic. And I'm just looking forward to it because last year, all it was in Nintendo's booth was Zelda, pretty much. And that at a 6-hour line, I'm looking forward to this being more spread out amongst different titles.
The only thing I hope is, this is just for my own gratification, is that there's no freaking line to get to the booth itself. Because I don't even care about playing the game. I mean, I do care, but we have an appointment for that. But I just want to go in and be able to watch these games, which we weren't able to do last year at all without standing in line for it.
I predict that having 15,000 fans on the show floor is going to suck. There's my prediction.
Yeah.
That is going to
I hope
suck.
they're like my Xbox fans or something. Go in those lines. Go to Call of Duty line.
Yeah, right. Nintendo's for babies. You don't want to play the Nintendo stuff. Go. Yeah.
Odyssey's going to be a nightmare to get to. It really is. I predict I'm going to get out of the media room a little bit more often this year.
I hope so.
I think so.
I hope you're sick.
Let's predict what time Derek gets out of the media room and what day. So I think last year it was like, what, 2 or 3 p.m. on day 2?
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to predict 4 p.m. on day 3 this year.
I'll go lunchtime day 2.
Nice.
I mean, it all depends really on how much they decide to show off on the treehouse. I mean, because that's what I get stuck. That's what I have to do is just keep an eye on the treehouse, and that allows you guys to go off and get all the footage and just bring it back to me, and I can upload all that while I watch the treehouse.
Actually, that's a really good thing. Just real quick, we were talking mostly Switch here. I could see some more smaller scale 3DS games being announced. We already touched on Mario and Luigi, or rather, maybe not just announced, but shown. But I think during the treehouse, we'll see possibly Mario and Luigi. 1 or 2 of the new Kirby games. I can see something else even thrown in there too. Like I think we could see some more maybe even on the Switch. I can see some smaller scale eShop games announced during the Treehouse on for Switch possibly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I care. I'm pretty sure we'll probably see like if they're focusing on 3DS, like if they're not focusing on 3DS stuff during the presentation itself, then yeah, the Kirby game is being shown off at the Treehouse. Like, especially if the other one is like that multiplayer-focused adventure game, that's a perfect place to show it off on the Treehouse. Right. You know,
I actually really do think they're going to show off that multiplayer, that new multiplayer Kirby game they're making. I think that is going to make a full appearance at E3, probably during the Treehouse segment.
Yeah.
Like, I feel very strongly about that. I think that's a pretty... I completely forgot about that prediction, but I do think that's... I feel that way.
And also, during that E3 Coliseum, there's one unannounced speaker at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, I believe. And, like, there's nothing else Nintendo in there. Maybe there's a chance that Nintendo will show up at that. But that's a slim chance, really.
I mean,
it would be just an unannounced title or something.
The last time I went into like a roundtable discussion thinking something really cool is going to happen, we got Codename Steam. So I'm really not going to go that far.
I mean,
I like Codename.
Yeah, but did you at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, you were like the only one
I
of
was
us in there
sold on that game
so
immediately.
Yeah,
I mean, I said before, and I'll say it again, their mistake was not announcing it was a new IP at the start.
No,
Exactly.
that was definitely their mistake.
That was a huge mistake. They definitely should have. That will help to the reception so much, I think. Or maybe, at least to some degree, but yeah. One more prediction, though, I have. I'm going to love Mario Odyssey. That's my prediction.
Nice.
I really cannot wait to see more and play that game, because that trailer just seems so magical to me. Even with my feelings on the real humans combined with Mario, I don't care. Like, that game, like, that captured like this magical element of Mario that I think has been missing from them for quite some time now. Honestly, since Galaxy 2 for me. So I really can't wait to play a Mario 64 successor again.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that.
Yep.
Nope, totally.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up for our E3 predictions discussion. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked our discussion, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we cover all kinds of things about Nintendo, E3, and Nintendo at E3. And of course, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. You can find links to those in the description below as well. It's a good way to keep up to date on everything we post. And of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for lots more from Nintendo at E3 and everything else Nintendo Switch as well, and 3DS. Even though I don't personally care about that platform much anymore, but whatever. All right, guys, catch you later.
That's my wheelhouse.
Bye.